Hi everyone, we're here at the Silicon Valley Shark Tank competition. We're here with Maxime. Maxime is a French entrepreneur. He has loads of energy, and he's launching Auct.ion, which is basically an app for auctioning. Maxime, there's a big problem today. Auction sellers have a lot of difficulty to bring a new pool of youth buyers to their platforms, and it's usually seen as, and correct me if I'm wrong, but an old school way of buying things. So tell me a bit more about your app and how does it solve this problem?
Right, so we identified a huge problem in the market. Traditional companies that use traditional auction as part of their business, they have difficulty bringing those young people in and selling to them. So what we thought is when you look in the street, you look at people, you look at young people especially, the extension of their hand is the cell phone. So that's why we decided to create a live auctioning app.
So who buys this app? Who's your customer?
So it's a business to customer model. So we're selling the app to businesses, which would involve traditionally governments or armies or even any companies that wants to have a digital auctioning process. And then those guys will market this app to their own customer.
But there's a problem here because eBay does this, right? I can do this on eBay and on other existing apps, right?
Right, exactly. So classic question, But the huge differentiating point is that many companies don't want to disrupt their brand.
Their brand image, yeah.
Exactly. Don't want to. If you imagine LVMH selling bags on eBay, it's absolutely ridiculous. So that's why we have a white label business model.
Okay. So what's a white label business model? Well, can you explain a bit more about? I don't know about this.
No, it's a widespread business model. It's super simple. Essentially, we develop the app. We don't put a logo on it. We sell it to our customers, and our customers put a logo on it. And
so if I understand it right, we don't see your logo. What I see is the company itself.
Exactly.
The company you're selling your product to, and I can see their logo, and I believe that this is their own auctioning app, right?
Exactly. So you as someone who don't know the app, you don't know about auction. You only know about, say, LVMH.
Okay. If I'm the customer, how much did it cost me? What's the cost structure here?
Well, it's super simple. The cost structure is split in two, right? There is the first half, which is a setup fee, which you only pay at setup, which is around 50K.
Okay.
Around from 50 to 60.
And then there's a monthly fee as well, right?
And then there is a monthly fee. That's the SaaS model,
Which allows me to have a 24/7 maintenance and to be able to run the app.
Of course, you have benefits, but the main reason why you pay for this is to have access to the app.
Okay, but the question that comes to my mind is there actually a market for this? Like, are people actually buying stuff in auction, and is there actually a market for youth for the youth pool of participants to actually get into this market?
Absolutely. So the first thing we realized is that people tend to use more than their phones to do search.
Relative to desktop, right?
Exactly, related to desktop. And then when you look at the mobile app revenue in the world, it's 460 billion, between 460 and 500 billion. So that's exactly the point where we enter the market in market at 460 billion, and that's meant to grow over time.
Now let's get into the technicals, right? I'm not kind of a finance guy, so run me through the numbers. Can you expand a bit more about your revenues and costs? I know that you have a subscription-based revenue structure.
Exactly.
Can you run me through the advantage of having this subscription, collecting the cash before having the expenses?
Exactly, super simple. So it's a SaaS model. People.
So software as a service.
Software, yeah, exactly. For software as a service, that's what it is. So there's a couple of advantages to this, and the main one is that there's a huge visibility of cash flow. You know how much you know how much you're gonna get paid. The second one is there is very low cost per new user.
So anytime you acquire a new customer, there's no cost, right? No marginal costs.
Essentially, no cost. And what this translates to is a very nice J-looking curve of revenue, of cash flow, and which will enable us to break even quite soon within
4 to 5 years, right?
Yeah, correct? 4 to 5 years essentially.
I can see here that you have like a 59% EBITDA margin. How come, right? No one does this. Is that an additional advantage for VCs or for investors?
Yeah, exactly. So you're a journalist. You read a lot about those stuff. Currently, SaaS is super popular, and you have also 60% in the SaaS industry. It's very common, and that's why it's super VC friendly, super financial sponsor friendly.
Okay.
It's sticky revenue, it's recurring revenue, predictability.
Okay, and you have a negative cash cycle conversion, which basically means that you collect the cash of your customer before you have to pay your developers, right? So, okay, that's brilliant. Can you run me through the milestones? So, what are the milestones on the road?
Right, so there is several key milestones. First off, there's two axes of development, very clear. One is expanding to new markets. Another one is developing new products. These are the key milestones. The first steps in our development will be to first of develop the app.
Okay.
A few developing costs, that's the first stage. The second stage is launching the app. We want to launch it in the UK and in France. Third stage is scaling up. And fourth stage is expanding the portfolio of apps.
Okay. How do you put this app into the hands of the end customer, the people who are going to buy it, right? How does it work?
Yeah, so that's...
Your distribution, your sales channel, and how do you distribute your product to the market?
So that's one of the tricky parts about understanding SaaS. We don't put it on the app stores, our customer does.
Okay, so you sell it to a government, let's say, and the government puts its own logo on it and puts it on the app store. And then I download it on my iPhone and I have it right away, okay?
Exactly, and you don't know about me. You, the end customer, you don't know about me.
Yeah, I can see the logo of the customer. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Is there any risk with your app? What's the main threat here?
As always, it's a very early stage now. So one of the risks associated with this is going bust because we don't have enough cash in the bank. So that's why we're here today trying to raise funds.
Okay.
We want to avoid this. So that's the solution. Another big risk in those kind of products, because it's a web product. It's cybersecurity.
Okay.
And we've hired some of the best cybersecurity people out there to hedge this risk. And the third risk is that we have a few numbers of customers, but we are absolutely confident that we have an amazing product market fit that will be able to
expand quickly to other markets, right?
Expand quickly to other markets, yes.
Okay, I can see you're asking your VCs today to fund your project with £2 million, even though you only need to cover £1.5 million. So can you tell me a bit more about where does this £1.5 million is going to go, and why do you ask for an extra £500,000?
Yeah, so I've seen you've done your homework. So essentially, the main sources of costs, the main way we're going to spend this money is developers. That's
developers, salaries.
Developers, and then the sales teams, and then there is the hosting.
Okay.
So we only need 1.5 million. The reason why we ask for 2 million is exactly to hedge for the
unexpected events on the road, right?
Events.
Okay, which we covered. So that's brilliant. You can invest right now with Maxime on Maxime's auction. It's meant to hit the market in 3 to 4 months or something.
Absolutely.
You're actually doing your cap raise right now, so feel free to raise money for Maxime. And yeah, it was lovely to have you today, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you. Come speak to us backstage.